How the heck are you guys? I'm Fastidious. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a Raid Shadow Legends video and a bit of a rant. So I haven't done one of these rants in a while, at least on this channel. And I feel like I must because this is so annoying. This champ chase, you don't know, it is part of, more broadly, the Ace Reporter Titan event to get April. I know not everyone's participating in it. And it also has other cool things going on, like the top prize, just one person, but the top in any group out of frickin' 100 is going to get a 5-star soul for Shredder. Actually, it's out of 50. I stand corrected. A little better than normal, but still, you know what I'm saying. It's not really something for the masses, but that does add a little extra spice. But all in all, this is a champ chase that is part of the April event. And if you didn't know, the April event allows you to leave 250 of these points on the table. So you're going through the April Titan event, the Ace Reporter event, and throughout it, you are collecting this currency, right? You're getting these pizza points. There are 1,750 pizza points available. So you only need 1,500 to max the whole thing out. This means you can ignore 250 points. Very, very, very often in a champ chase or a summon rush, they will make like 200, 250 points available. But here in this champ chase, they are making 300 points available. And they've split it up as a 100, 200. This fully requires you to participate in this event, right? Because if you fully ignored it, you can only ignore 250 points. You would be ignoring 300 points. And because they chose to make the lowest reward 100, which they usually only do 2 tiers that give away these things in any Fusion or Titan. But, you know, if they were trying to be this nasty, they could have at least made it like 50 and 50, and the first 50 would be like 750 points, and then 1550 for the next bit. Maybe this is 100. And then the last one's 150, something like that. But no, they made it that you have to get to a tier that does require some kind of champ chase participation and investment, and you cannot skip this, right? Because you can't ignore it because you need 50 of these, and the only way to get 50 is to get this 100 here at the 1550. So the reason I might sound kind of resigned in my voice is I don't think this Titan event is very cool. I don't think it's very fun. I don't think April's that good, so I think a lot of people that chose to skip her, you can feel fairly okay about your decision. But part of my approach to going for it was, all right, they're making us do a path, which is what they did last weekend. It was for the Granite Soul. I wonder what percentage of players went for the Granite Doorkeep Soul in that path. That was a crazy investment. So most people, I'm assuming, did something similar to what I did, which was just go for all the pizza points. And because once you got it going, you already had cleared some of the rows of the path, you could find different columns to go down. It wasn't so crazy that once you went for whatever it was, the first 200 pizza points, it wasn't so unreasonable to go for the next 200. Or maybe actually, I think they split up 150, 150, 100. So what I did is I went for all 400 points, thinking, wow, I'm getting 400 points just from this one path event. This should definitely allow us to skip the champ chase. But no, in very Raid fashion, they found a way to just milk more of our resources. They just require participation in so many things. And I just wanted to speak to how frustrating I find this experience. Nothing's ever predictable. In every other game I've ever played, things are at very steady and consistent numbers. Everything is always changing in Raid. They're always finding clever ways to overlap things in ways that puts a lot of stress on your account, depletes your resources, and steals a lot of your time from your life. Not that playing Raid isn't fun. I mean, I'm very happy to play it. I feel lucky to be sponsored by the game. But so often I feel like I want to play for 2 hours and the game is making me play for 4 hours, or I want to play for an hour and a half and the game is making me play for 5 hours, or I want to play for 3 hours, but the game is still going to make me play for 6 hours. And combine that with the fact that I also feel like I'm never in control of my resources, it just sucks. It just really sucks. And I'm assuming a lot of people share this sentiment. I'm not trying to be too negative, but I just wish the developers could make more of an effort to keep turning new leaves, right? To keep changing and evolving. The recent change a couple months ago, what was it, 2 months ago, with the free permanent gear removal and movement of gear was just enormous. Also with the Donatello Fragment Fusion, I thought that was a very straightforward, simple fusion for a very strong, desirable character that's part of a limited collab. That also felt like a step in a very correct direction. But now, having the Deck of Fate nearly required with Raphael, I mean, how many pizza points were in this? I mean, in hindsight, you can skip it, right? In total, there's 100 pizza points. But I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to go for this, and then I can for sure skip April. what are the chances I can't skip April? And then those people that went for it are like, now I can't even skip April. But overlapping with this Titan event, that Deck of Fate, that very annoying path, and now a required, at least with some decent participation, Champ Chase, it just feels like a huge step back. And it just feels like a little bit Polarium gonna Polarium. All in all, I think the entire TMT collab has been a home run. But this has been a weird note to end on. This huge Titan event around a character that the devs have admitted is bugged. I think they've fixed it now, but she's just got a goofy kit. She's the most half-baked of the 6 units that they released as part of the collab. And then it's just this huge, arduous undertaking of a Titan event that they've created around her with so many different ways to keep like undermining players' plans and taking away from players' time and just making the whole thing feel unenjoyable. And for me, it's come to a head right now with this Champ Chase. The idea that after having not missed a single point in this Titan event and knowing I won't miss any future points, I still am going to have to get to 1,550 points here because they made it 300 instead of 250. And then even if they made this required, they didn't split this up into something smaller. I just want to reiterate, if 750 was 50, 1550 was 100, and 4,200 was 150, that'd be way cooler. Obviously, it'd be more player friendly, but I just wish this whole thing felt a bit more player friendly. So that's kind of the gist of my rant. It's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. Like I said, I've been enjoying this collab a lot. I think there've been a lot of cool things. I love the designs of all the characters. Certainly all 4 turtles. I think Shredder needed more love, and I think April, like I said, was somewhat unfinished and not that cool. With the backdrop of the joy I found participating in this event and how fun I think it's been as a community, it just feels weird that as we're wrapping up now, less than a month left, I think just less than 4 weeks left, this feels like the big giant thing. Of course, we're going to get Leo in a couple weeks, but besides Leo, this is the big giant event, and I think it just kind of sucks. That's just how I feel, and I think this Champ Chase was the cherry on top of this suck Sunday. So I will end on a kind of positive note. 1550 is not that many points. 1,550 is not that many points. And you can absolutely go for it in a pretty enjoyable way because, yeah, you're probably going to have to pull unless you have a bunch of fragment stuff saved up. But for me, I'm going to pull, and I would suggest a lot of people pull just because there's a 2x on voids, right? So like, why not? Like, that's why I save my voids as much as I can. Sometimes I have to use them for other Champ Chase stuff or other Summon Rush stuff, usually Champ Chase stuff. But on the whole, I mostly use them when it lines up with something and there's a void 2x. And here it is lining up with something and there is a void 2x. It does suck that this weekend, which I thought was so clearly a weekend we could take off from summoning, we can't. But that being said, this is a fairly player-friendly way to do it, right? A 2x on voids, we'll frickin' take it. I'll give you one little tip. If you're lucky like me and you already got Shredder, definitely wait till Sunday. You can see there is a 2x that is going to last through Sunday, and then through Saturday, there's a 10x on Shredder. It's still not going to be that likely. If you're lucky enough to hit a legendary, you'll get Shredder. But just in case, if you already have Shredder, I would, like I do, I would really suggest waiting for Sunday. Another final note, you can't use any of these collab champions to empower themselves. So I would definitely suggest waiting for Sunday. That's what I'm going to do. I would think with 27 voids, if I can just hit a couple epics, we'll be good to go. I might pull them all. I might pull just enough, but it's a 2x. So like, I probably will try to get this up to 30 by finishing some events. I know this champ training had a void hiding out here that I'm fairly close to, and then maybe a couple lucky clan boss drops these next 2 days. I think it'd be pretty cool. Do 3 10 pops on a 2x. Who knows? Maybe we get lucky. So it's not all bad, but you get it. I thought this was a bummer. Let me know what you guys think, but in my opinion, this was a bummer. I don't think there's any other way to put it. So let me know what you're doing, what your plans are, if you have suggestions for what I should do if you don't agree with my plan. Another thing you can do, I'll say, is if you are going to finish the Deck of Fate, I'm actually going to film that and do that later today. If you're going to finish the Deck of Fate, you're going to get Raphael in the form of fragments. So he'll be a non-void legendary you could fragment summon for this champ chase. That'd be 500 points. That would get you just about a third of the way there, just less than a third of the way there. So that's another option. But yeah, let me know what you're planning. Let me know if you agree, disagree, anything in between. If you're not yet playing Raid, I know I just gave the most glowing endorsement of all time. I guess to make it a bit more glowing, this has been like the most fun 2 months I've had playing Raid in forever. And that's including before the big break I took from the game. I will say that. And overall, I do think the game is good and probably as good as it's ever been because the free movement of gear really changed everything for me. That plus the turtles, I think this is as much fun as I've had playing Raid in half a decade. Because I've been playing Raid for over 6 years now, on and off. So It's pretty interesting stuff. So if you want to play, download today using my link in the description in the top pinned comment. You get 4 insanely good champions nearly right away, including Deacon Armstrong, literally right away. After like 2 or 3 minutes in the tutorial, you can pop open your mail and you'll see him waiting for you here. It's the best link you can get to start a new account. So there you go. Share with your mother. Subscribe to the channel. I've been Fastidious, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.